Hi there. Welcome to the second video, or the second part of this presentation on intentional networks. So in the first segment, we've covered the basics of intentional networks and what I called system development networks. Now we're going to look at what are the usual steps into forming an intentional networks. The three most important aspects of relational networks. The three R of intentional networks. The first R is a focus on relationships. The second R is a focus on relationships. And the third R is a focus on relationships, right? It's the relationships that are the engine of an intentional network. I believe that in the first stages of an intentional network development, we should let the structure emerge, right? We should not pay a lot of attention on formalizing roles and formalizing procedures. We should try stuff out. We should try to do things together, do activities together, and understand what makes sense. When a network decides to completely determine its structure before doing anything else, it is often doomed to failure, because this is a process that takes some time, takes some energy, and you need to be ready as a group to go through this process without going bananas. I like to think of growing an intentional network like growing a tree. There is lots of phases that a tree or forest goes through when it starts from a little seed in the soil to a tree that produces fruit, and eventually those fruits will fall and create more seeds that will grow more trees, and the forest will grow. Right? The analogy that I like for the intentional networks is the one of a forest. Right? We're trying to create a forest, and the forest you can't really plan. Right? You create the conditions for a forest to emerge. So I've divided this in 6 phases. This is just a guideline. It's not at all the rule, but usually this is how these kind of big networks evolve. There is a big part of the energy is put in the first 2 phases of exploration and exploration, what the core group wants to do together, what is the core group's purpose, what is a core group itself, who are the people who are part of this core group, who are really committed. And then the second phase is bringing other people in, what we call knowing other people, knitting them together, and nudging them to work together with us, or to understand what they are doing. Maybe we can support them. Okay, and this is a phase that lasts for a long time. So the first 2 phases, exploration and knowing, knitting, and nudging. The first phase is a phase where we determine readiness. Are we the ones? Is the core group the one that will actually take responsibility and commit to the long-term process of systems change? This is usually a small group of 5 to 15, but maybe more, committed and then diverse individuals, very similar to the cohort model that we have in South Sudan. And in this phase, we do a lot of research and learning, not only about networks, but also about the system that every individual is embedded in. Again, like we are all doing in South Sudan. So we have some people working with people with disabilities. We have people working with women, with the issue of child marriage, the issue of cattle, the issue of sports, using sports to as a catalyst for change. So what you are doing is actually this first step of connecting with each other and exploring um, the work that each and every one of you is doing in their own fields. And you're moving to the step of knowing, knitting, and nudging, right? As you start connecting uh, your own work with your fellow cohort members' work. And in the process, you start bringing other people in. Again, the example of TTT, right? How many people are involved in the preparation of TTT? Or when the cohort 2 members visited Jing in the north, right? So how many people did you connect with? How many people did you share your dream and your energy with, right? And this is a process that I think we are all in right now, and this is something that takes patience, perseverance, and a lot of iteration, a lot of study, a lot of testing, a lot of reflection, a lot of also getting inspiration from other networks and other case studies. I will send you until the end of the month another video about another case study. But the fact that Anyok 4 of cohort 2 will be in Nepal, you will actually get a chance also to explore another or to talk about people who were involved in another case study. I'd like to stop here for a minute and underline my forestry or my forest analogy to tell you that when uh, when you have a very dry soil or very dead soil, and we are having this experience here in Portugal because we have very big wildfires that devastated almost half of the forests in Portugal. When that happens, in the year after the fire, there are like what we call perennial species or perennial grass and plants that are the first ones to emerge out of a dead soil. These are the ones who are most that need the less water, less food in the soil, and they are the ones who appear first, right? And their job is to crack open the dead soil to enrich it, because when they die off, they become nutrients in the soil. And in the process of giving the soil or turning the soil into something more nutrient rich and giving it back to life. And this is a very, very long-term process. So the fact that the process of growing these first seeds, these first little trees, it takes years. It takes many years. So I'll conclude this part with an image that I want to share with you. Something that I feel we will be doing for a long time, which is we're going to be, I'm going to say, stuck in the loop of these first perennial grass stages, and it's a loop of asking ourselves, are we ready to take the next step? Are we ready um, to put some formal structure in our work, and then and hereby also open other doors for action? What else can we learn? Can we learn that we haven't learned so far? And asking ourselves, who else is out there? Who do we need to connect with? Who wants to connect with us? Because sometimes we don't need to go out there. People come to us and tell us, hey, I want to connect with you. I want to be part of whatever it is that you're doing. And together we will prototype something. We will experiment. We will take actions. We will do more TTTs. We will do more um, cultural dance events. We will do more trips. And we will reflect back and perhaps bring some other new people in after these experiments and ask again, is this the group? Are we ready? What else can we learn? Right? And this is a cycle that lasts for a long time. Sometimes it may feel like you're not doing any progress, but it's actually the other way around. You're actually enriching the soil, naturally enriching the soil. And a rich soil, you don't need to do a lot on a rich soil because nature will take care of growing the new trees if the soil is rich enough. So to conclude, again, some activities. I have here a bunch of questions that you can do. Take a look at them either individually or in group. I suggest that every once in a while pick up these questions and in group discuss: Are we ready? Or if not, um, what else do we need to test, or who else do we need to bring into the team? So finally, what new ideas did you get from this video? How might you apply them to South Sudan? Um, and especially for me, it's important how much or what else would you like to learn about intentional networks, and how may I help um, evolve this conversation on intentional networks. I hope you enjoyed this set of videos. As I said, until the end of the month, you will get another one on the Wajir case study. Thank you. Bye-bye.